Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. And we begin tonight with Bill in the LEX 18 Storm Tracker Weather Center.
He's tracking what could start as a quick burst of snow for some of us, followed by a lot of heavy rain headed our way.
Indeed, we do have a winter weather advisory. It's essentially I-64 and north. The snow only lasts an hour or two in most places. It'll be at the very beginning of all this. There may be a quick accumulation. Bridges, overpasses are the primary threat that we would see any icing take place. It's not going to last long because what happens then through the night is temperatures will be rising, and when that happens, all of that winter stuff is gone by morning. So your morning commute will just have to deal with rain, and unfortunately that rain could be in abundance. Flood watch is up for the entire area tonight into Thursday morning. And again, we're looking at rain heavy at times later on tonight and through the day tomorrow as well. Leading edge on the MaxTrack Live Doppler, that's likely notice how it makes kind of a big arc shape there. That implies that it's basically evaporating on the way down. But when you expand it out, you look at the big brother down here coming across Middle Tennessee, and that is all coming northbound. So rain is coming. In fact, our future track here shows the rain moving north through 9 o'clock and 10. There's your leading edge at, well, 11 o'clock. And again, there's your mixture potential. We continue then to the hours around midnight north of I-64. You're seeing that snow possibility. But then by the time your morning commute's going, it's raining and probably raining hard. We're going to talk about that and what we expect going toward the weekend in a couple minutes.
All right, Bill, thanks.
Monday, a Russell County couple was admiring God's creation. Today, they're thanking God to still be alive after a rockslide came dangerously close to crushing them.
Michael Burke has the details from US 127 by the Wolf Creek Dam at Lake Cumberland. That's the LEX 18 big story at 6.
For at least the time being, Linda and Robert Shepard will look at Lake Cumberland and the Wolf Creek Dam from this side of US 127.
Anybody driving through there, I mean, it could happen again.
It being this. The Rockslide the Shepards got caught up in on Monday while taking pictures of this incredibly scenic area.
As he was standing there, he said that he started to hear some popping.
A familiar and scary sound.
I've heard popping rock before, so I knew what was going on.
And fortunately, he knew exactly how to react.
The next thing I know, he got really concerned and yelled at me and said, "Linda, get in the truck, we've got to move."
Avoiding tragedy by mere feet and by even fewer seconds.
When I was getting ready to get in the truck, the rock slide just came down.
It just kind of instantly happened.
And in an instant, their faith, if not already strong, was strengthened just a little bit more.
Oh, when it's just a few feet away from you, you really thank God you're still here on this earth.
I thank God for my husband that he heard the popping because I wasn't paying no attention. I was too infatuated with the water and all that.
That road remains open today with road contractors helping move traffic along. The Shepards, however, will point their pickup truck in another direction from now on.
I probably won't cross the dam again.
Covering the news in Russell County, Michael Burke, LEX 18 News.
It was a close call in Pulaski County where a garbage truck slid into a sinkhole.
Now, city crews in Somerset are racing against the forecast to fill that hole before more rain hits. Conroy DeLuce continues our LEX 18 Storm Tracker team coverage.
The turn onto South Vine Street from this parking lot looks a little different now than it did Monday morning.
Well, I got a phone call from the garbage truck man. He said he fell in a little hole down here. And I come down here and yeah, he was in a little hole, okay.
Once the driver got out safely and the truck was towed, city crews got to work.
We dug down last night somewhere around 15 feet till we hit the cave. And then we started backfilling with shot rock and smaller rock as we came up to fill the hole.
The sinkhole opened just yards away.
It's pretty good size, big enough to disappear a car in, bro.
From a historic site in Somerset's history.
This is the general area where the town was founded, and because it's called Town Springs because of the water supply that we had. And the water, of course, is our enemy in this regard as it has eroded the foundation of the earth.
David Hargis says excess rain is to blame for the sinkhole.
And unfortunately, it's in the forecast again for tonight, so we're working very hard so we can get it secured and hopefully don't have another washout.
And depending on the weather, Hargis hopes concrete can be poured on top of the dirt sometime next week. Covering the news in Pulaski County, Conroy DeLuce, LEX 18 News.
The city of Paducah began installing gates along the flood wall today as the Ohio River continues to rise. The work began this morning and was expected to take 12 hours. The National Weather Service says the river is expected to crest at 49.5 feet at Paducah by Sunday. The city says the water would flood down Broadway Street once the river reaches 50 feet if a floodgate wasn't installed there. The city says most of its pump stations are already running because of the river level.
School officials in Knox County have canceled school for the rest of the week, partially due to the threat of flooding. We're told attendance today was about 82% because of illness, and officials think that number may continue to go down with more kids getting sick and because high water might keep people from leaving their homes. So Wednesday and Friday will both be NTI days for students. Meanwhile, Floyd, Lee, and Wolfe County schools are all out the rest of this week due to illness.
Remember, you can track that rain along with us by logging onto our website, lex18.com, and take the same information with you when you're on the go. Just download our free LEX18 Storm Tracker weather app. In other news, the Franklin County coroner has released the names of the victims in yesterday's fatal wreck on I-64. They are 53-year-old Wilma Chambers of Berea and 64-year-old Alan Roby of Indiana.
Meanwhile, police tell us there were two dogs inside one of the cars involved. They both survived but got away. Today, about a dozen volunteers scoured the earth underneath the bridge where the accident happened. One of the dogs was rescued this morning and the other was caught this afternoon. Both are young yellow lab mixes. One was practically unscathed, but the other suffered minor injuries.
She appears to have some soft tissue injuries to her back feet. She has a cut on the back of her one foot, and then she's got some, looks like road rash type injury to her right foot and some swelling.
Both of the dogs will stay at the Humane Society until they can be reunited with the victim's family. When a child goes missing, an Amber Alert is sent to your phone and their photos quickly spread so the public knows who to look for.
But when it comes to someone older, we have golden alerts, and they don't come with the same widespread immediacy as the ones we get for kids. But now, as LEX18's Carolina Buchek reports, that could change.
In January of 2017, the dark gray Toyota was found.
There's no way possibly to or physically to even drive to where this vehicle is located.
Inside of the car, 78-year-old Fred Warner was found dead about a month after his family reported him missing. A month of questions, confusion, and anguish for his sons.
You get to the point where you want to hear something good or bad, just so you can get that, resolved.
Today, Rick and Randy Warner tried to convince lawmakers to vote yes on House Bill 150, which would officially create a statewide golden alert system, meaning it would trigger the same response as an Amber Alert. It's something that could have helped them when their dad, Fred, who had dementia, went missing in his car.
One of the avenues that we tried was the electric signs on I-75 to post. We knew he lived less than a mile and a half from I-75 interchange. So we thought that would be an excellent opportunity to put license plate, car, that stuff, and get the information out quickly.
But they were told that wasn't possible, and the information that was released didn't do much.
The golden alert that eventually came out days later was actually false information, wrong car, wrong description. Yeah, so we thought even that was a waste opportunity to maybe get the word out for people to look for him.
So now they want to make sure this doesn't happen to other families. Covering the news, Carolina Buchek, LEX18 News.
Kentucky lawmakers met in historic surroundings today when the General Assembly convened in the old state capitol. The Kentucky Senate and House of Representatives went into session in the old state capitol's historic chambers at 2 p.m. today. After those proceedings, they reconvened in the current state capitol's legislative chambers to handle procedural matters. The old state capitol is a national historic landmark that was the center of Kentucky government from 1830 to 1910. It's located on West Broadway Street in Frankfort.
A pair of adorable porch pirates are winning hearts all over the country today. A Lexington woman posted this video from her surveillance cameras showing her puppies stealing her Amazon package. LEX18's Kylan Mills went to find out the pups' tail-wagging side of the story.
Here they come. Ashley Heimer is an equine vet by day and self-proclaimed zookeeper by night.
We have a menagerie here. We have kind of a zoo. My dad always says we're trying to repopulate the Ark.
So when she noticed an Amazon package that was supposedly delivered on Sunday disappeared from her front porch in rural Fayette County, she had a feeling it had gone to the dogs.
so I started looking around trying to see where it could have potentially been, and I actually found it on our side porch at the top of the stairs, and the package was completely shredded. The pups had had a good time with it.
While Heimer strongly suspected that her pups are responsible, she realized there is one way to prove it.
We really had a good laugh with it. They're very entertaining puppies.
Heimer and her husband weren't surprised to find their 3-month-old labs Zokoe and Denali on their security video. But what did surprise them is the reaction when Heimer posted the footage on Facebook.
Then once it got out to the news stations, it's been crazy the amount of publicity they've gotten.
The good news, Heimer says the stethoscope case that was inside the package is fully intact.
This is what they do all the time. It's constant play. It sounds so ferocious and vicious.
And it's safe to say the newfound fame hasn't gone to their furry heads.
I know. Oh, we're rotten.
Covering the news in Lexington, Kylan Mills, LEX 18 News.
With just one meeting a week, a Lexington man is working with young students to become the best they can be in school and in life.
How the Alpha League is making a difference in these boys' lives is next on LEX 18 News at 6.